The story begins with a boy works at a logistics center to earn money. His name is Kim Jong-yam, who does not like his job, and there is a reason for that. One day, he tries to talk to the robot next to him, but the robot ignores him and keeps working. This is why he does not like this place. The whole logistics center is full of smart AI robots that do most of the work. Jong-yam watches over them, but there is no one to talk to. He often feels sad and misses talking to people. Sometimes he thinks he chose the wrong place to work. This starts about 2 months ago, right after he leaves the military. That is, when his bad luck begins. First, his parents move to Uijeongbu. As a gift, they pay for the deposit and 6 months of rent for his small apartment. Now, he lives alone near his old school. This is the beginning of his lonely life. Even though he is okay with money because of government help and the rent paid by his parents, he decides to take time to find a job. He is not in a hurry and wants to find the best one. But things do not go well. He keeps getting rejected and cannot even show what he can do. After 1 month of looking for jobs, he starts to get really bored. One day, while wasting time, he tells his sister about how he cannot get a job. His sister laughs at him, and during their talk, she says that delivery companies use AI robots to help with work. Many people work as operators in these places. Jong-yam becomes interested. That is how he ends up in this place, which he thinks is terrible because no one is there to talk to. Then, someone calls out to him. The man looks grumpy and unfriendly. He looks like a manager. The senior worker tells him that they are out of tuna, even though the system says there is still some. He asks Jong-yam to check the warehouse. Jong-yam listens and puts on a fake smile. He actually feels the robots are kinder than his rude senior. When Jong-yam goes into the warehouse, the door starts to close behind him. He quickly looks around for the tuna. After some time, he finds the cans, climbs up to get them, and grabs them. Suddenly, he hears a loud noise. The door slams shut. He tries to open the door, but it is stuck. He calls his manager Shin, but there is no answer. He thinks about calling 911, but decides not to because he is not in serious danger. He takes a selfie and sends it to his sister, telling her he is locked inside. She jokes about it at first, but then she says she hears a building falling down outside her home. Jong-yam becomes worried and calls his sister. She picks up but says nothing. He wonders if she is just playing a trick on him, but then the warehouse starts shaking. The emergency alarm goes off. Announcements tell everyone to leave the building fast. He is stuck inside and does not know what is going on outside. He hits the door with his fists, but no one hears him. He tries to call again, but finds out his phone has no signal. He starts to panic. He thinks maybe a war has started. Then, he sees something hitting the warehouse door from outside. Every hit makes a big dent in the strong steel door like it is made of cardboard. He pulls his hand away from the knob. He feels sure that something really bad is outside. If he makes even a small noise, he feels like he will be caught and hurt. He sweats a lot and falls to his knees. Luckily, the banging stops, but he still hears loud noises and people screaming outside. 3 days pass. He is still stuck in the warehouse. He eats the food inside to stay alive. No one comes to find him, so he starts thinking something big has happened outside. He thinks maybe there is a war, and now he feels a little lucky to be inside. If he were outside, he might be dead. The alarm that used to make noise stops yesterday. He is happy for the quiet and can now sleep a little, but his phone battery is low, and he is not sure how long he can stay like this. He thinks this may be the last message he can send to the world. He hopes that a soldier or someone from his country finds him soon and keeps the family safe. Then, something strange happens. A system window shows up in front of him. It says he has been chosen and should check his new powers. At first, he thinks he is dreaming. Another window shows up. It says he has a special space where he can store things. He starts to think maybe there is something weird in the tuna he has been eating. Then, a new message appears. It says a target is ready and asks if he wants to store it. He agrees without thinking. Suddenly, he falls down and lands on the ground outside. He stands up and looks around. There is rubble and broken things everywhere. Everything looks destroyed. He sees his senior lying dead on the ground. While system windows keep popping up, Jong-yam throws up after seeing the dead body. The system says it has found the right operating system for him and is now installing it. He hears footsteps behind him. A huge shadow appears behind him, and he feels sure it is not a human. As the view widens, there is a monster that looks like an orc. It has sharp teeth and a big body covered in blood. Jong-yam starts sweating and tries to stay calm. He tells himself maybe it is a bear or a gorilla, but he does not look back. Instead, he runs as fast as he can. He steps on someone's body parts while running. He does not know why there is a monster or why it is chasing him, but he knows he must escape or he will be caught. Then, another system window pops up. It says the sync is finished and asks if he wants to enter the subspace. He agrees quickly. as the monster is right behind him. Just before the monster can touch him, he jumps into the portal. Now, he is safe inside the portal. The monster cannot come in and can only make angry noises outside. Jong-yeom is confused and wonders why the monster cannot enter. A flying drone tells him that nothing can enter his subspace unless he gives permission because he is the master of it. The drone explains that the subspace is completely under Jong-yeom's control. Jong-yeom feels surprised to see the drone talking to him. He also feels a strange sense that he has seen this before. When he looks around, he sees that he is back in the PAX Fulfillment Center warehouse. But now, it is part of his new subspace. The place is full of the same robots as before. The system says that because he has entered the subspace for the first time, he will get a reward for finishing the tutorial. The reward is 1 mana stone. The stone appears in his hand. Before he can understand what it is, the monster outside starts banging on the portal. The loud noise scares him, and he almost forgets that the monster is still chasing him. He becomes scared again and quickly asks the system if it is really true that monsters can't get inside. The system says that nothing can enter the subspace without his permission. Then the system shows another message. It says the PAX Fulfillment Center is a 5-story building with a total floor space of 10,000 pyong, which is about 33,000 square meters. It says the building has everything needed to help customers live better. It can send out shipments at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour and can send 1 item at a time. The item can be up to 2 meters in size. Jong-yeom does not understand what all this means. The system gives more information and says that there are only 2 minutes left until maintenance starts. Jong-yeom feels confused and asks if the logistics center will stop working after 2 minutes. The drone says yes and explains that the mana stone can be used to give power and keep the place running. Since he has 1 mana stone, it can power the whole building for 24 hours. Jong-yeom feels amazed by how strong the mana stone is. The drone says that when the PAX Fulfillment Center moved into the subspace, the power system was changed. Now the place runs on mana stones. Jong-yeom asks if all this is really possible or just some sci-fi nonsense. Suddenly the lights go off. The drone starts flashing lights. The system says that the power has stopped, and if the energy is not brought back, PAX Fresh and other items may go bad. PAX Fresh is a service that keeps food like vegetables, meat, and ready-made meals fresh and cold. Jong-yeom looks at the monster outside and remembers that the world outside is like a war zone. In this situation, food is very important. If the freezers and fridges stop working, it will be a big problem. He asks the drone if the mana stone really works like electricity. The drone says yes. Then he asks how to get more mana stones. The drone says they can be found from beings from another world. Jong-yeom clearly does not feel happy about fighting a big, strong monster that could easily tear him apart. So, he tells the drone to use the mana stone for now, and then goes inside the building to find some weapons. Once he is inside, he picks up some weapons. The system shows the price of each one. He feels worried about using them too fast. If he throws them at the monster, he might run out of stock. He also does not know if the weapons can hurt the monster's tough skin. He decides that maybe it is better to hurt the monster little by little. Since the monster can't enter his space, he doesn't have to kill it all at once. He can try to injure it slowly and save his weapons. He throws an axe at the monster. It only scratches the monster's body, which makes it even angrier. Since the plan did not work well and his weapons are limited, he decides to try throwing the heavy axe again, hoping it works better this time. He asks the PAX system how many axes are left. He is surprised to hear that there are 15 axes. He thought there would only be a few. He quickly asks where the axes are stored. When Jong-yeom gets to the storage room, he is shocked to see that the axes are duplicating over and over. The PAX system explains that these items are made in a way that lets them be copied without stopping. They can be broken or changed, but they won't run out. This surprises Jong-yeom. If it is true, then he has an endless supply of weapons. The PAX system confirms it is true. With this new information, Jong-yeom feels happy. Now he does not need to worry about using up his weapons. He can throw them at the monster as much as he wants. He thinks his arms might give up before the monster does. Then the system shares something interesting. Jong-yeom does not have to throw weapons by hand. He can send items from the subspace to the outside world automatically. The system says he can ship items every 30 seconds, but he can make this faster by improving his skills. Jong-yeom quickly asks how to throw the weapons. The system says he just needs to think of the item and say the word ship, then it will be sent. Right after hearing this, Jong-yeom says the word ship, and an axe flies through the air. It hits the monster's ugly face very fast and takes it down easily. The drone throws the axe and Jong-yeom asks how fast it was. The system says the normal shipping speed is 60 kilometers per hour. Now Jong-yeom understands what the system meant by shipping speed before. The system says he can change the speed up to 75 kilometers per hour. To go faster, he needs to improve his skills. Jong-yum asks how to do that, and the system says he needs to use mana stones. Then Jong-yum remembers the monster he just beat. He now knows he must fight more monsters to get stronger. He grabs some gear from the building. The first thing he takes is light combat boots that cost 50,000 KRW, and then he gets matching combat pants that cost 78,000 KRW. After putting them on, he buys a map of the Seoul area and a permanent marker. He draws a E, circle around the Gwangjin district, and marks the nearby districts in a certain order. With his plan ready, he decides to start with the closest district and then move toward his last stop, Ijeongbu, where his parents are. Since Jong-yum is starting in Gunpo and does not have a car, he knows it will take a long time to reach his parents. Even though it is not fast like a car or motorbike, a regular bicycle is still very useful in this ruined world. At this point, it feels like having a Lamborghini. He gets on the bike and starts riding through the empty and broken world. After about 30 minutes, night falls. During this short trip, Jong-yum manages to take down almost 12 orcs. He then tells us that he has learned something very important after defeating these 12 orcs. But before he can explain what he discovered, another monster suddenly shows up and tries to attack him. Jong-yum quickly goes back into his subspace, leaving the monster outside. While the monster cannot move, he uses his shipping ability again to send out an axe at a very fast speed, but the axe misses a little and only hits the monster's shoulder. Jong-yum now has to wait 30 seconds to use his shipping skill again. He also learns that the skill only works within a 10-meter range. Even though there are some limits, he finds out that his skill is very powerful and can be made better by collecting mana stones and upgrading the skill. Besides the shipping skill, Pax's power has more uses. Soon, he will find out what those are. Suddenly, the monster sees something moving behind it. When it turns around, it sees the axe flying back into the portal. Then the axe comes back out and hits the monster in the face, ending its life right away. This is the second use of Pax's skill. It is called product retrieval. It means that anything sent out from the subspace can come back by itself, just like the shipping skill, and it is very useful. Jong-yum uses the retrieval ability again to take the mana stone from the monster. He wonders why he can't just take the mana stone like this without killing the monster. He asks Pax, and the system tells him that he can only retrieve the mana stone after the monster is dead, because then the stone belongs to him. After that, Jong-yum steps out of his subspace and shares something very important that he has learned about this dangerous world. He has found out that the strange orcs are not the only monsters destroying the planet. There are also flying monsters with wings, and he knows that fighting them will be very hard. Suddenly, he hears someone shouting for help, but before he can see who is yelling, the scene changes. Now we see a man named Choi, who is running for his life. He looks very tired, and every step he takes feels heavier. A flying monster is chasing him. The monster dives from the sky and hits Choi from behind. Choi falls to the ground in pain. Another man is behind Choi. He tries to help his friend, but the monster lands in front of him and blocks his way. The monster's mouth is full of drool, like it really wants to eat human meat. But something strange happens. The monster does not attack the man standing in front of it. Instead, it looks at Choi, who is lying on the ground and making painful sounds. The man feels confused. He sees that the monster is not after him. It is only after Choi. Maybe it's because Choi is smaller and seems like an easy target. The man has no idea what he can do to save Choi. He only has a small knife and he doesn't think it will help much. Just then, they hear the ring of a bicycle bell. It echoes through the air. It is Jong-yum, riding fast toward them, but the two men don't know who or what is coming. Before they can understand what's happening, they see the monster suddenly get hit by something. The force knocks the monster down and makes it slide across the ground. It was hit by an axe that Jong-yum threw. The monster is defeated with just one throw. The two men are shocked and don't know how to react. Jong-yum checks if they are okay, but the men are still in shock. Their mouths hang open. They cannot believe someone riding a bicycle just beat a flying monster with an axe. The two men ask Jong-yum if he is a soldier. They bow their heads to thank him for saving their lives. Jong-yum smiles, happy that they are safe. He shows them his uniform and tells them that he works for Pax FC. The men see the company logo on his clothes. This makes them even more surprised. They thought Jong-yum was a strong soldier because of how good he was in battle. Even though he is not a soldier, his amazing skills make it hard to believe that someone like him can take down a flying monster with just an axe and a bicycle. Jong-yum is also surprised to find out that these people know about awakened abilities. One of the men says that he has an ability too, but it's only a driving skill. Because of everything going on, he hasn't had a chance to use it yet. Choi starts laughing and says he feels a little jealous because he does not have any special powers at all. Jong-yum asks if there are more people nearby. Choi says no. They are in Block C, where there is a logistics center. Many people gathered there, but so did monsters. Most people were attacked, killed, or eaten. Only about 10 to 15 people are left, and they are hiding in Block E's underground terminal. Choi explains that they came out to find a road for vehicles and to collect daily items, but then the monster attacked them. The other man invites Jung-yam to come with them. He says they live on the 4th floor of the basement. Monsters have never gone there, so it's safe to sleep. He also says they have some light snacks they can share. Jung-yam thinks about the offer. He really wants to see the vehicles they talked about, and he needs information about working vehicles. He decides to go with them, even though he isn't sure if he can fully trust them yet. As they walk away, Jung-yam takes one last look at the dead monster. He uses his skill to take the mana stone from inside its body and puts it into his subspace. He feels glad that these two men don't know about his power. That way, if anything goes wrong, he can escape into his subspace. After some time, they finally reach the basement. There, they see a man who has just killed an orc by himself. Choi runs to the man and asks what happened. The orc killer says, "Everything is okay." He tells them the orc must have come in by mistake. Luckily, the orc didn't see them, so they were able to defeat it easily. No one is hurt, but now they cannot be sure if the basement is safe anymore. Jung-yum feels a little scared seeing how dangerous this place is, but he quickly stops thinking about it when the orc killer looks at him and asks who he is. Choi tells everyone that Jung-yum is the one who saved them from the wyvern. He also says that Jung-yum used to work at PAX FC and is very strong because he killed the wyvern by throwing an axe from far away. Everyone around is surprised and wants to know what kind of power Jung-yum has. Just then, a woman runs up to him, smiling happily. She is super thankful that he saved Yongsu and Byungchul. She is so happy that she even does a little dance. Other people start to come over too, all praising Jung-yum. He tries to act humble and says he just did what he had to do. As the crowd keeps growing, Choi tells everyone to stop teasing Jung-yum so much. Then, the orc killer steps forward and says everyone here has worked together for more than 10 years. Yongsu and Byungchul are like family to him. He feels truly thankful to Jung-yum for saving them. He introduces himself as Lee Jin-mok, the manager of the Daehyun Express terminal. He even bows to show his respect. After everyone calms down, Jin-mok gives Jung-yum a quick tour of the place. He says the location may not be totally safe, but it's a lot better than the outside world. They have food and water from the logistics center, and Jung-yum can eat as much as he wants and rest without worry. Jin-mok adds that they still have many supplies, and if needed, they can get more from the logistics center. But then, Yongsu speaks up. He says the logistics center they are talking about has suddenly disappeared. Everyone is shocked and can't believe what they just heard. Jin-mok quickly asks what this even means. Choi confirms that the building is really gone. He says this is why the wyvern started chasing them. Some people don't believe it and ask how such a big building can just vanish. Jin-mok thinks for a moment, then says that if monsters like these are real, then maybe buildings disappearing isn't that crazy either. Jung-yum stands quietly during all this. No one knows for sure, but it seems like the missing building might be linked to Jung-yum's subspace. Jin-mok tells everyone to stay calm. He says they can't just stay here forever. If they do, things will only get worse. They need to start moving through the tunnel as soon as they can. He tries to keep everyone strong and says that their time has just come a little earlier than expected. The same woman from before agrees with him. She says that even without the logistics center, they need to think about what to do next. She tells everyone that they must move forward no matter what. Jung-yum asks the manager what she means by force our way through. The manager explains that everyone has homes far away and they need vehicles to travel. But all the roads are blocked, so they need to find a way to escape. Jung-yum becomes more interested when he hears about the vehicles. He asks for more details. The manager says they do have working cars, but the roads are not usable. To the north, there's a golf course blocking the path. To the east, shipping containers are in the way. The south road, the Yongdong Expressway, is destroyed. The tunnel to the west is the only way out, but it's filled with wyverns. Before, they were able to survive because they had the logistics center, but now they must go through the tunnel. The manager tells Jung-yum that he doesn't have to use the tunnel. Since the roads are only for vehicles, he can go on foot or by bike. But Jung-yum says he needs a vehicle too, so he will go through the tunnel with them. The manager doesn't argue and says Jung-yum is welcome to join. Jung-yum smiles and agrees to help. But deep inside, Jung-yum thinks it's better to keep his powers a secret. Even though the people seem kind, he knows they've been struggling while he stayed safe. They might be running out of supplies, and he doesn't want to fully trust them yet. He understands that everyone has secrets, so he decides to stay careful too. He then turns to the manager and says he wants to check the tunnel and see the wyverns himself. He says it's for scouting, but really, he just wants to go wipe out the monsters and collect more mana stones. The story then goes back a little in time. After fighting a bunch of monsters, Jung-yum has saved up 5 mana stones. With these, he can reduce the cooldown of his shipping ability to 5 seconds. That's when he sees 3 new shipping skills. The first is precise delivery, which means the item will always hit the target. The second is simultaneous delivery, which lets him send 2 things at once. The third is automatic delivery, which sends items on its own. And he can choose the time between each delivery. All of these skills are cool, but each one costs 10 stones. Jongyum is excited to use them someday, even though he's still not sure how the automatic delivery one works. Back in the present, he smiles, happy that he has saved up magic stones and is ready for his scouting trip. Or at least that's what he thought, until he finds out that Youngsu is coming with him. Youngsu is one of the people he saved before. Jongyum asks why he is tagging along. Youngsu says it's too dangerous to go alone. Jongyum reminds him that he was the one running from a wyvern, but Youngsu says that doesn't matter. He believes Jongyum will save him again if anything happens. Jongyum remembers that Youngsu once said he has a driving ability, so he asks him if he sees a message window or something. Youngsu says no, he hasn't seen any system window, but he has a strong feeling that he has awakened something. He thinks it just hasn't fully come out yet. This does not make Jongyum feel any better. In fact, he starts to feel more nervous. As night falls, they ride their electric bike very fast down the road. Jongyum is sweating, scared, as he watches. Youngsu steers the bike with one leg while trying to balance it. He asks why he's driving like that. Youngsu says the road is full of cars and it's hard to see. Then, Youngsu spots a wyvern up ahead. Jongyum quickly tells him to stop because he can't see anything. The monster looks right at them, meaning it has found them. Youngsu asks what they should do now. Just then, a flying axe hits the wyvern and knocks it down in one shot. Youngsu is shocked and confused. Meanwhile, Jongyum stays calm and tells Youngsu not to look back. As he says this, he secretly takes the mana stone and puts it into his subspace. Finally, Youngsu points out that he can see the tunnel nearby. He hits the brakes hard. Before Jongyum can ask why they stopped, they see why. The road ahead is crawling with monsters. Youngsu is so scared, it looks like he might have already peed his pants. One of the monsters starts walking toward them. Youngsu feels sure this is the end. Even with the electric bike, there's no way they can outrun that many wyverns. The monsters attacked, but they were quickly dealt by our hero. Youngsu asked about the floating stone. He replied that it's a mana stone. Youngsu asked his purpose for collecting it. So Jongyum explains that he uses mana stones to make his abilities stronger. Youngsu finally understands and says he hopes he'll get to try using one someday too. Now it all makes sense to Jongyum. This is probably why Youngsu didn't pick up the mana stone from the orc they saw earlier. He simply didn't know what it was, or what to do with it. Then Youngsu points out that with powers like Jongyum's, he could easily clear the entire tunnel by himself. Jongyum explains that he didn't come here to fight all the monsters. He only wanted to check things out. If it looked easy, he would break through quietly. He didn't plan on showing off his powers. Youngsu apologizes for following him without asking, but Jongyum tells him it's okay. He admits that he didn't know the way to the tunnel anyway, so if Youngsu hadn't come, he might have gotten lost. He then says it's time to head back. The wyverns are gone for now, but they might come back soon. Youngsu then asks again why Jongyum needs a vehicle so badly. Jongyum explains that he is trying to reach his family. His goal is to get to Uijeongbu, which is near Gangnam. This surprises Youngsu because his own destination is also on the way to Gangnam. He tells Jongyum that he's heading to Indeokwan and asks if it would be too much trouble to let him tag along until then. Jongyum doesn't answer right away, so Youngsu keeps talking. He says even if he gets through the tunnel, he doesn't know if he can make it home safely. His driving ability won't help in a fight, but with Jongyum by his side, he might have a chance to reach his family. He promises to help Jongyum get to Gangnam faster than anyone else. He also says he'll make sure Jongyum has food along the way and promises not to slow him down. Jongyum starts to think this could actually work. Youngsu is a good driver, and more importantly, if he stays close, he won't tell anyone about Jongyum's powers. That's important because Jongyum is afraid that if people find out about his powers, they might try to use him, or worse, hurt him. It might sound silly, but he'd rather be careful than sorry. So in the end, Jongyum agrees. He tells Youngsu he can come along. Youngsu's face lights up with happiness, like a kid in a candy store. Then, Jongyum tells him that he'll take care of the tunnel, but warns him to keep everything about his powers a secret. He also asks Youngsu to make sure no one else gets in the way. Youngsu eagerly promises to help and says he'll make sure everyone listens. But things don't go as planned. Instead of keeping the secret, Youngsu tells everyone that Jongyum will clear the tunnel by himself using his special powers. All they have to do is wait outside until he's finished. Jongyum stands there, shocked. He can't believe Youngsu just revealed everything he told him to keep quiet. Everyone else is amazed and excited. They all want to see how Jongyum is. going to do it. Young-so, meanwhile, is smiling and explaining things proudly. Jong-yum just sighs, thinking about how unlucky he is. In the end, Jong-yum tells everyone that by tomorrow morning the tunnel will be cleared. He figures it's the best choice. If he helps them now, things will stay peaceful. But if the food runs out and people start panicking, there might be a lot of trouble. So he decides to take care of the tunnel while things are still calm. That's when the manager walks over and talks to Jong-yum. He says he won't ask any questions about Jong-yum's abilities. He simply respects his choice to help everyone. He offers Jong-yum some food from their supplies as a gesture of thanks. Jong-yum is surprised. He didn't expect this much kindness. The manager explains that since Jong-yum risked his life to scout the tunnel, offering food is the least they can do. And now that he's going to clear the tunnel, they feel like they can never thank him enough. They apologize, saying all they have are a few kind words. Jong-yum tries to say he didn't do it for them, he did it for himself. He tells them to keep the food, since they need it for their families. But Young-so steps in and tells Jong-yum to just take it. He says that refusing would make everyone feel bad. He also reminds Jong-yum that he has a family too. At that moment, Jong-yum sees how happy and hopeful everyone is. They're all thinking about their families, and he suddenly feels a little sad. He knows he can't let them down now. The next morning, the group finally arrives at the entrance of the tunnel. Everyone gathers behind. Jong-yum turns to them and tells them to stay back. Then, he climbs onto his bike and starts pedaling into the dark tunnel, ready to clear the way and come back safely. As he gets closer to the tunnel, he begins to spot the monsters, but before we see him battling them, the scene flashes back to his childhood. We see young Jong-yum with a sore eye from a fight with his sister. He complains about it to his father, and it leads to another argument with his sister, and they eventually start beating the shit out of each other in front of their father. That is when his father points out how close they seem to be. His father then reflects that he was an only child of his parents, so he always envied the bond between siblings. He tells them that they have no idea how envious he is of their relationship, and even though they may argue now, they'll soon realize how truly precious family is. Suddenly, their mother bursts into the room, leading to a hearty argument between their parents. It's at this moment that Jong-yum feels the warmth of family. The scene then transitions into the last night, where our boy is recalling all of these moments with his family after seeing how everyone is overjoyed at the prospect of finally reuniting with their families, knowing that Jong-yum would clear the path for them. They spent the entire night like that, basking in the warmth of anticipation. When midnight strikes and everyone falls asleep, Young-so wakes up to use the bathroom. Noticing that Jong-yum is missing, he heads outside and asks the patrolling guards about him. They report that Jong-yum said he was going out for some fresh air a while ago. He then further walks forward and looks around and finally spots our boy. He quickly asks why Jong-yum can't just sleep, and our boy replies that he can't sleep there. Just as Young-so looks in front, he is absolutely boggled out of his mind to see that the entire vehicle is filled to the brim with food and supplies. Young-so finds this ridiculous and quickly asks why he is giving away so much stuff. Our boy just casually mentions that he only loaded about half to avoid making the vehicle too heavy, but this amount should be more than enough for everyone. Young-so is even more astonished when Jong-yum says this is the last vehicle he had to load. The realization hits him quite hard because if this is the last vehicle, then our boy must have packed the other 15 vehicles with the same amount of supplies as well. Jong-yum quickly tells him to keep this a secret from everyone else. The man, however, points out that if Jong-yum is giving away all of these supplies, there will be nothing left for them to use during their journey. Jong-yum casually replies that they still have plenty of supplies left. The man is left astonished to hear this, realizing that the amount of supplies the boy just generously gives away is more than what one would find in an entire logistics center. He can't fathom how much Jong-yum must have in stock to give away so much. We return to the present, where Jong-yum is effortlessly demolishing monsters like it's no big deal. As he fights, he thinks about how much easier it would be if he could just put all the people into his subspace and carry them to the other side. Unfortunately, his system states that with the current subspace level, it's not possible. But if he achieves subspace level 2, he could accommodate up to 20 people. To reach that level, he'd need to gather at least 100 mana stones. Jong-yum quickly does a mental tally and notes that there are at most about 40 monsters, with a few running away. Given the numbers, leveling up here isn't feasible. He still needs to think of another way to level up because he eventually wants to put his own family into the subspace. Suddenly, Jong-yum notices something unusual among the fleeing monsters. A closer look reveals a particularly jacked-up version of Wyvern, and I can tell that this is some kind of boss-level monster. Even Jong-yum isn't sure what he's dealing with. We finally cut back to the outside, where everyone is anxiously waiting for Jong-yum to come out. Some are starting to worry if he's okay inside that tunnel. They then finally spot him emerging from the tunnel, effortlessly pedaling his bicycle as if he's just out for a casual ride. His uniform is smeared in blood, and the group looks on anxiously, but they soon breathe a sigh of relief when they see a smile spreading across our boy's face. They burst into a joyous dance, celebrating the successful completion of their mission. Well, it seems like it's finally time for everyone to part ways and reunite with their loved ones. They express their gratitude to the manager for sticking with them until the very end and hope that he gets safely home as well. Jong-yum hints that if they run into any trouble, they should try opening the cargo hold, as he has prepared a little gift that might be helpful. Everyone is intrigued and as well as curious about the gift, but they eventually get into their respective cargo trucks and start making their way through the traffic. Once they cross the tunnel, they wave their goodbyes one last time and head down their separate roads. We then see Jong-yum sitting in the passenger seat, still preoccupied with the monster he saw in the tunnel. He's unsure if it was actually a wyvern, as it fled so quickly that he didn't get a good look at it. He then starts wondering if the wyvern he spotted was a leader, or maybe just an adult version of these monsters, but his thoughts are cut off by a weird crunching noise coming from under their truck. When we look near the tires, we see that the trucks run over some dead bodies, and the driver's face is full of sadness from hearing the bones breaking. Even Jong-yum can see the regret on his friend's face, but they've got no choice but to keep moving. With bodies and wrecks everywhere, there's no clear path, and it's a mess no matter where they turn. He thinks to himself that if his discharge had been delayed by just 3 months, he might have been one of those dead soldiers. The whole situation is worse than they thought, with monsters still munching on the corpses. Suddenly, Young-so calls out to him, which snaps our boy out of his thoughts. Once he looks ahead, we see that the road is blocked up ahead. Young-so points out that the barbed wire looks like it was set up by the military to block something, and they'll have to take another route. He mentions there should be another bridge they can cross. But that is when our boy spots something at the end of the blocked bridge. And just as we take a closer look, we notice a new type of monsters we have never seen before. Now it finally makes sense what the military was trying to block. While Young-so is panicking and considering turning the car around, our boy sees this as an opportunity to level up his subspace. He then notices a narrow sidewalk on the road, perfectly blocked on both sides. He quickly tells his friend not to turn the car around and asks if he can pass the vehicle through that sidewalk. As they drive along the road, Jong-yum suddenly feels confident about the route they've taken. He believes this path is the best choice and sees no reason to change direction, but the younger boy beside him is caught off guard. His eyes widen, in shock as he spots a group of orcs approaching their car. Both freeze for a moment, stunned by the sudden appearance and the way the creatures attack without warning. Panicked, the boy calls out, seeking clarity. He's confused about Jong-yum's plan and questions whether he really intends to cross the nearby bridge. But Jong-yum remains calm and reassures him it's not as hard as it looks. Trying to shift the tension, he brings up an old game from his past. Stark, a space war strategy game where 3 races are locked in endless conflict. The boy instantly recognizes it. It's a classic among his generation. Jong-yum recalls his favorite part, a map where players defend against relentless monster waves with limited units, specifically the Terrans. He notes how similar their current situation feels, trapped, outnumbered, but not without hope. With urgency, he suggests a move. He tells the boy to reverse the car to a nearby spot as the city is gripped by fear. Monsters and orcs roam the streets and danger is everywhere. Jong-yum and his companion are no exception. As the orcs rush toward them, the boy suddenly remembers something he hadn't expected to use, but now's the perfect time. A message appears. He's unlocked auto-shipping by using 10 magic stones. He still has 27 left. Jong-yum tells him to spend more. They use 5 additional stones, boosting the shipping speed to 100 kilometers per hour. Suddenly, a large object arrives, a double-door refrigerator. It lands just in time, intercepting an attacking monster. Another message follows. They've earned 12 more stones for defeating it. Jong-yum upgrades the shipping again. The range and precision improve. He considers using an axe, but after testing it, he realizes it doesn't track targets well. It only adjusts slightly, and the hounds are too fast. Even at 100 km/h, they dodge easily. They don't stop, even when one goes down. He thinks quickly. Shipping can dispatch items every 2.5 seconds. Too slow for axes, but a refrigerator is big and heavy. Even a glancing blow can halt a monster. Now that it's automatic, the odds improve. As one charges toward them, Young-soo grows scared and confused. He watches as a refrigerator launches through the air. He'd thought only axes could be thrown, nothing this massive. But more follow, one after another. Even though it's a logistics center, he finds it odd. There seem to be an unusual number of refrigerators in stock. It doesn't feel right. He starts to wonder, maybe they aren't just being retrieved. Maybe they're being created. Axes are known for collecting and reusing items, but this feels different. Young-soo can't explain it, and the mystery only grows as the onslaught continues. Amid the chaos, he stares in disbelief. The idea of launching refrigerators like weapons is still hard to accept. Calmly, Jung-yum asks if he wants something to eat. Young-soo is stunned. Jung-yum wonders aloud if the stock might truly be endless. Hearing that, Young-soo freezes. I assumed Jung-yum was simply collecting thrown axes to reload them. But now it's clear. They weren't being reused. They were being retrieved and launched again, Jung-yum explains. He'd been picking them up to avoid leaving hazards on the road. Not for reloading. Safety, not strategy. Then the truth comes out. The supply of items, including refrigerators, really is infinite. Amazed, Young-soo shyly asks for a Coke Zero and a donut. He's still unsure what Jung-yum's real power is, but he's grateful for the gesture. Then Jung-yum asks if he's ever done tunnel patrol. Young-soo nods and thanks him for the trust. He promises to return the favor if ever needed. Smiling, he says he's okay now and thanks Jung-yum for clearing the monsters. Hope fills him. He believes he'll be home soon. Once they cross the bridge, it's just about an hour away. Jung-yum is surprised. The thought of Young-soo reuniting with family stirs something in him. He smiles, but there's a hint of sadness. Memories of his own family surface. Quietly, he admits to himself he's not ready to face them. Not like this. As they both gaze out the window, their expressions shift. Something outside stuns them. The atmosphere turns heavy. Jung-yum speaks softly. It might take time before things return to normal. For now, they decide to find fresh clothes. Jung-yum asks about Young-soo's style. He laughs, unsure if they'll find what he likes, but amused that even clothes are being considered. Young-soo puts on his glasses, ready to move on. Most of their troubles are behind them. Only one obstacle remains. He says it's manageable. Gripping the controls, he presses the brake. They're nearing their next stop. He announces their arrival at a location and tells Jung-yum to hold tight. He only needs 20 minutes. As they move ahead, he eases up on the gas. Jung-yum groans, feeling carsick. Finally, they arrive. The car stops. Young-soo tells him they've made it, but before them stands a ruined, broken building. The building is old and falling apart, not because of an attack, but because of time. The whole area looks worn down. It's an older part of the city. Some parts of the building still stand, but no bodies are around. It feels different from the main street, where bodies are everywhere. This place is quiet. Young-soo feels hopeful. He tells himself that his family is safe. He just needs to press the code, open the door, and go inside. He repeats the steps in his mind, but when he reaches the door, a message appears. It says he won't be able to open it properly. He starts to panic. Earlier, he drives so fast that a 1-hour trip takes less than 20 minutes. He only thinks about reaching his family. Now, standing at the door, fear takes over. If they didn't survive, he doesn't think he can face it. He knows he can't open the door if the truth hurts too much. Jung-yum sees this and steps in. He offers to press the bell. It's a small action, but it helps. Young-soo agrees. He knows he can't do it himself. If it's left to him, he will wait forever rather than face the worst. Jung-yum presses the button. The door opens. Inside, a woman and a small child stand. The woman looks shocked, then begins to cry. The child stares at Young-soo, then runs to him. He holds them close. They are together again. Young-soo wonders how the door opens. Jung-yum says he hears a sound and looks through the peephole. When he sees someone outside, he decides to open it. Inside, Young-soo's wife feels relief. She is glad to see him safe. Their child hugs him tightly. Even though her words sound harsh, they come from love and fear that he might not return. Jung-yum stands in the corner watching the family. His face is calm but full of emotion. Young-soo introduces him as the one who helped him get home. When they mention names of people who may not have survived, Jung-yum feels the pain. The moment becomes too much. He struggles to keep his feelings inside. The child asks why her father isn't crying. Young-soo thinks about it. Pain doesn't always bring only sadness. He feels many things: love, thanks, regret, and longing. These feelings remind him of all they've been through. He doesn't cry because he feels thankful. Someone showed him love without asking for anything. It's not easy to explain, but it stays in his heart. One day, his child will understand too. Jung-yum stays nearby, quiet and thoughtful. The moment passes gently, surrounded by family and silent understanding. Jung-yum starts to remember his family. He thinks about the times he and his sister argue over small things. In one memory, she hits him harder than he expects. He feels surprised, not just by the pain, but by how serious it becomes over something small. He questions her actions, confused by her roughness. She replies with blunt honesty. She never pretends to go easy. Looking back, Jong-yeom sees that even in those fights, something real exists. It feels distant now, but full of meaning. He remembers how they used to fight as kids. When she hits too hard, he complains. She never holds back and makes it clear she's not being gentle. Sometimes she uses a pillow, not to soften the hit, but just because it's there. He yells that he hates her and threatens to tell their father. These outbursts are common, but they pass quickly. From their father's view, it always looks like they get along. There is a bond under the teasing and arguing, a connection they don't see at the time. Jong-yeom doesn't understand it then, but now he knows those moments are special. Even when siblings fight, love hides beneath it. That love becomes clearer over time. He also remembers normal times, like his mother calling him and his father to help with dinner. She gets upset when they don't listen. Still, they all sit at the table together with warm food, small talk, and quiet comfort. Now, those memories feel far away, but they stay with him. Each one shows how deep love can be, even in simple moments. He hears his mother calling him for dinner. She tells him to stop using his phone. She asks if he has a crush, since he's on his phone more than usual. He says he's in middle school now, and friends text a lot. His sister joins in, teasing him. She watches a fighting game on TV and says the hit looks painful. Jong-yeom tries to watch too, but she has taken over the screen. Their parents talk about school. They ask if Sol is going to middle school next year. His father mentions a boxing club and suggests joining. His sister says that's why she picked her school. Jong-yeom thinks to himself. The word middle stays in his head. He remembers being pushed to go to middle school. Now he's finally there. He sees a banner. Congratulations on his admission to Young Korean Middle School. Everything feels strange. The school is new. His uniform feels unfamiliar. Then, a group of students suddenly beats him up. It happens fast. He doesn't understand why. A teacher finally steps in and stops them. The teacher says it can't happen again. From now on, Jong-yeom must join. Morning exercises. He remembers passing the exam. A web message appears. Accepted to Jong-yeom Nursing College. Invoice sent. Deposit period listed. He says it to himself. He passed. He tells his family. His father is shocked and raises his voice. Then he says the time has come. Jong-yeom asks what he means. His father says it's time for military enlistment. His mother tells him to be careful and not get hurt. His father tells him to return safe. Jong-yeom joins the military. He lies on a pillow, crying quietly. Sad memories rush back. His family, school, enlistment. Then his mind goes blank. He opens his eyes and wonders where he is. His memory is foggy. He remembers Young-soo meeting his family, but nothing after that. A voice calls to him. It's Young-soo's wife and child. They ask if he's awake. Young-soo's wife checks on Jong-yeom, who suddenly collapsed and fell asleep. He was sleeping so deeply that she didn't wake him. When he wakes up, he asks how long he's been out. She tells him about 3 hours. She also says that her husband told her everything Jong-yeom did to help them on the way. She thanks him for letting her see her husband again. Jong-yeom answers calmly, saying he also got a lot of help from Young-soo. Compared to that, he doesn't think he did much. He says Young-soo actually saved his life. Young-soo enters and tells Jong-yeom to eat before they talk more. His wife adds that Young-soo hasn't eaten yet because he was waiting to eat with Jong-yeom. She invites him again, kindly telling him to enjoy the meal. Jong-yeom looks at the dish in front of him and is surprised to see kokonger eel stew. Mrs. Young-soo explains that with limited ingredients, this was the best she could make. Jong-yeom feels thankful. To him, it already feels like a special meal. She says she and her daughter have already eaten, so he shouldn't worry. Jong-yeom says they don't need to leave, but she gently encourages him to eat. He takes the first bite. A rush of flavor spreads through his mouth. The taste is clean, rich, and balanced. He notices how well the sweet and oily stir-fried kimchi blends with the savory mackerel kimchi. The food feels warm and comforting, like home. He keeps eating quietly. He thinks that ever since he left the military, or even with the world falling apart, this is the best meal he's had in 3 months. Later, Young-soo tells Jong-yeom that his destination is Gangnam and offers to drive him there. Jong-yeom is surprised. Young-soo says he already talked to his wife about it. When he told her Jong-yeom was looking for his family, she said that it's not just their own family that matters. Jong-yeom explains that Gangnam isn't his final stop. He plans to go to Uijeongbu, so he'll need the car longer. Young-soo understands and says there's a condition. Jong-yeom suggests they talk outside. Outside, Jong-yeom listens to the plan. They'll drive to Gangnam together. After that, Young-soo will return using an electric bicycle. The condition is that Jong-yeom gives him the bike when he needs it. Young-soo says it may sound small, but if Jong-yeom agrees, he'll get him to Gangnam quickly. Jong-yeom nods, but still wonders why Young-soo is willing to take such a risk. With his driving skills, he could escape danger. and after reuniting with his family and getting supplies, there's no real reason to risk more. Jong-yum doesn't understand why he's doing this. Young-soo says Jong-yum helped him first. Without Jong-yum, he might not have escaped the tunnel and could have died. He says he's just returning the favor. Both of them are in the same situation. Jong-yum may have a useful ability, but that doesn't make his journey easier. They both still hope their families are alive. Young-soo took a chance to reach his family. Now Jong-yum is doing the same. Young-soo adds that he doesn't plan to be a hero. If things get too dangerous, he'll run. He won't risk his family or his life. He's just helping where he can. He picks up his bike and prepares to leave, saying again he'll only do it if Jong-yum agrees. Jong-yum accepts and explains more about his ability. He has a subspace, a special area no one can enter unless he allows it. He can even duplicate items stored there. Young-soo says he remembers, but he has his own condition. His path includes Gangnam, Dolgiro, Dobong-e, and ends at Uijeongbu. He wants Jong-yum to stay with him until he finds his family. He also says he can't do this alone. When he levels up his subspace, he can't bring anyone else inside, not even Jong-yum or his own family. He lays out the terms clearly. Later, Jong-yum thanks the others for helping defeat the monster dogs. Because of that, he can now level up his subspace ability. He tells them that if they keep helping him find his family, he'll protect theirs in return. Young-soo laughs and says he'll bring his wife and daughter right away. He gets ready to move. A screen appears in front of Jong-yum. It says, "Send 100 magic stones to upgrade subspace to level 2. He checks his balance. He has 116 stones. After upgrading, he'll have 16 left. He confirms the upgrade. The system begins. Subspace upgrading, 43%. Soon the screen shows, subspace level 2 achieved. New information appears. The space can now hold up to 20 people. He can also store one item in front of a home. The activation cost is 1 stone, and the maintenance cost is now 6 stones. He thinks that cost is a bit high. More features are unlocked, but he decides to check them later. Another alert appears. An external presence is requesting access. Young-soo, his wife, and daughter. Jong-yum approves it. Access is granted. Young-soo and his wife step inside and are amazed. They see rows of AI packs and look around in awe. Everything is clean and organized. Jong-yum explains how it works. If they need anything, they can call a pack. They can check items or ask for deliveries. There's also a fresh food center where they can get most ingredients. Young-soo asks if they can really use it all freely. Jong-yum tells him not to worry. Everything here is infinite. Since he can duplicate items, there's no need to hold back. Jong-yum tells Young-soo to take a short rest. They'll leave in 30 minutes. He also needs to check some things related to his ability. He says he's ready to go anytime and tells Young-soo to ask if he's curious about anything. Young-soo and his wife thank him quietly. Young-soo smiles and says he'll finally get to play princess with his daughter again. His wife goes to the kitchen to prepare snacks. The atmosphere is peaceful. While they relax, Jong-yum opens his system menu to check for new upgrades. He sees a list: source, subspace, and a new option called lab. He selects the lab. A short message explains it's a space where he can combine, organize, and transform items in his subspace. Another new feature, simultaneous shipping, also unlocks. It allows him to manage multiple deliveries at once. Jong-yum takes a deep breath and reviews everything. He's ready to use his new tools, because the journey isn't over yet. Jong-yum has a power called subspace. At level 1, it lets him store one object in front of him. He can take it out any time and nothing else can go in unless he allows it. In the beginning, it is just simple and safe storage. Everything changes when Jong-yum connects it with the logistics center. There he finds a system that works with subspace. After an update, the system joins with the logistics AI, PAX AI, and the awakening system OS. This mix makes his power much stronger than just a storage space. Now, subspace can do more things. One big change is shipment. Jong-yum can launch stored items at 100 kilometers per hour. The power was already strong, but after merging with PAX, it becomes even better. Jong-yum doesn't expect new powers when he levels up, but more features unlock each time. At level 1, he can only store one item, but as subspace grows, it can hold more. Now it's not just about storing. He can manage, mix, and change the items too. The system shows a new option. Cost, 50 magic stones. Subspace lab, mute. This lab goes inside subspace. The description says he can mix, separate, and change items that are already in storage. Jong-yum reads it and wonders if it's really possible to do that. Maybe he can create new things by using the items he has. He doesn't know how far this power can go, but one thing is clear. Every upgrade makes subspace stronger and smarter. His power keeps growing in ways he never imagined. Jong-yum wants to try the new lab, but he doesn't have enough magic stones, so he works with what he has. He opens the screen and looks at the basic function again. 1 can store an object in front of them in subspace. Storage capacity. 1. He remembers when he first tests it with PAX FC. He doesn't know what will happen. He says the command without thinking much, and PAX FC goes right into subspace. That memory stays in his mind. If subspace can hold anything, then it might even hold something as big as Earth. A message appears on the screen. Target designated. The system prompts whether to store it. Jong-yum gives the command. The system responds quickly. Failed to store the Earth in subspace. The target is outside the storable range. Jong-yum feels slightly amused. He suspects it won't work, and now he knows for sure. Just then, Young-soo talks to him. He says he found a better way to Gangnam. If they take the main road, the trip will be smoother. Jong-yum agrees, but asks about Young-soo's daughter. Young-soo says she felt safe and fell asleep after playing for a while. Young-soo thanks Jong-yum again. He says he's truly grateful. Jong-yum says they helped each other, and that's what matters. They both agree it's just teamwork. Young-soo promises to support Jong-yum from now on. Jong-yum smiles and jokes that the serious mood is making him feel weird. Young-soo laughs and says all he can do is drive, but he's very fast. Jong-yum quickly asks him to slow down. Young-soo agrees. He says Jong-yum helped him, so he wants to return the favor. They start heading toward Gangnam. The road is quiet and empty. Jong-yum sees no monsters, no people. He didn't even know a road like this existed between here and Seoul. Young-soo says the area has Bronze Age sites, so it was never developed fully. The road is bumpy but safe. No danger. Jong-yum hopes it won't take too long, but it's the best way for now. As they drive, Jong-yum sees military barricades and spike strips. He wonders if the military is still working here. Young-soo says the vehicles and weapons are military, but the people aren't. There's a base nearby, but it's not run by real soldiers. Whoever they are, they've been watching. They can't avoid this group. Jong-yum asks what they should do. Young-soo keeps driving. Jong-yum quickly opens a small portal under the steering wheel and tells Young-soo to hide, but Young-soo says, no, he will be fine. Jong-yum checks again and Young-soo stays calm. If the group wanted them dead, they would have attacked already. Armed men appear. One of them says there are 3 people. Jong-yum mutters that the driver wasn't bad. He hoped the spikes would stop them. A man gives a command to get out and open the cargo. Jong-yum steps out and does it without fuss. The man sees the salmon boxes and gets excited. He asks if Jong-yum is a delivery guy. Jong-yum says yes. The man cuts him off and says the food belongs to them now. Jong-yum knows this would happen. They want the supplies. One of them asks where he got all of it. Jong-yum says it came from a logistics center, but even if he tells them where it is, they can't get there. The roads are broken and blocked. The man asks if Jong-yum has more. Jong-yum says what they see is just a small part. There is much more. Someone in the group asks if he's serious. Jong-yum nods. From the distance, a man calls out. He says it's time. They need to move. He tells someone named Tae-kyung to grab the wood. Another man, Ming-young, is told to get the truck ready. The leader says he's taking Jong-yum too. A voice replies, yes. Jong-yum freezes. He didn't expect them to take him. A man with wood comes closer. Another soldier says, this is Seok Sobjom. The order is clear. Bring Jong-yum in. They confirm Jong-yum is the one who brought the supplies from the logistics center. One of them says time is up. Jong-yum brought it all very fast. The officer wants to check the supplies one last time. Jong-yum sits in a chair, hands tight on the armrests. He faces the commander. Around him, armed guards stand still. He wonders where they take people who show up with food. The commander speaks calmly. He says Jong-yum brought the supplies on a truck and claims they're from a logistics center. He repeats what he knows. Jong-yum is the only one who can enter that place. He asks again where Jong-yum gets the supplies. Jong-yum answers that he takes them from the Gyeongpool Logistics Center, marked SMART. The commander sighs and says he wishes he had gone there first. Jong-yum looks around. The place feels strange. He asks what this place is. One of the men answers, it's a military base. They list the name Command, Communication, Joint Command Communication Headquarters. Jong-yum, who never served in the military, doesn't know much. He waits. One man says it's almost 6 o'clock. Someone is coming soon. He says Jong-yum will understand everything when he meets the guy. Jong-yum hears a strange sound. He wonders if that is the guy. The sound grows louder. He thinks it might be a wyvern. He looks up and sees it. It's huge. His eyes go wide. It really is a wyvern. The beast is massive. The commander agrees. He says it's no joke. Even he almost died fighting it. He explains that his powers didn't work. It was like something invisible blocked his attacks. Jong-yum sees a soldier on the ground, head smashed. The commander points him out. That man tried to fight the beast. Guns didn't help. No one survived. The commander's powers failed too. He says the military tried to recruit people to fight monsters. But when he saw how weak they were and how strong the monsters had become, he took control. The commander says he hasn't killed the soldiers yet. He kept Jung-yum alive because Jung-yum seems useful. The commander says he was weak and hungry then. He adds that the others will die soon anyway. He goes back to the point. They have lots of weapons, but no food. He tells Jung-yum to go back to the logistics center, gather more supplies, and bring them back. They leave tomorrow morning. After seeing Jung-yum's skills, the commander says he wants Jung-yum in his group. He says it's better for Jung-yum. They can protect him, even from monsters like the wyvern. Jung-yum listens, but thinks of something risky. He gives a silent command to Pax, store the Joint Command Communication Headquarters in subspace. Suddenly, everything changes. The commander yells. He demands to know what Jung-yum just says. His voice rises. He asks if Jung-yum wants to die.